I was on doctor-ordered bed rest, the kind with a heart monitor that beeps when you roll too far. On a quiet Tuesday, a county clerk email pinged my phone with a receipt for a marriage license that had my fiancé's name on it and my sister's address. They thought I was too still to move and too fragile to notice. They had no idea I run controls and records at a publicly traded company, and paper is how I breathe. My name is Sloan Whitaker. I am 30 years old, and I am the Director of Controls and Records at Northgate Therapeutics. My apartment in the Riverbend Towers is silent, save for the rhythmic, electronic sigh of the heart monitor. Beep, beep, beep. It is a quiet, invasive metronome for a life paused. The heavy gray curtains are drawn halfway, cutting the Tuesday afternoon light into a sharp, geometric block that falls 3 feet short of the bed. I am not allowed to move past that line of light. I am on doctor-ordered bed rest, a high-risk pregnancy designation that has tethered me to this mattress, this monitor, and this oppressive, air-conditioned stillness. The world has shrunk to these 1,200 square feet of luxury glass and steel, and I have shrunk with it. My job is to find anomalies. I design systems that flag deviations. I audit paper trails that document human error, human greed, and human malice. I live by the creed that everything leaves a trace. Data does not lie. People do. My work laptop is open on the overbed table, its fan a low hum against the beep of the monitor. I am supposed to be on medical leave, but stillness invites scrutiny. My personal email is open. I ignore the 30% off coupons and the newsletters I never subscribe to. I am looking at the automated alerts from my other system, not the Northgate system, but my own. A year ago, I wrote a simple script, a personal watchdog. It scans the public-facing databases of Fairwick County and 3 surrounding municipalities. It searches for new filings, civil, criminal, property, and vital records, cross-referenced against a specific list of names, my own, my fiancé's, and my sister's. I built it after I had to untangle my sister's last financial disaster. A mess of payday loans and a forged check. I am the family auditor. It is a role I never asked for, but one I am required to perform. At 2:17 p.m., a new alert hits my inbox. Subject: Fairwick County Public Records Alert. Pike, E. Whitaker, C. My heart rate doesn't change. The monitor confirms it. Beep. This is just data. I open the email. It's an automated receipt notification from the county clerk's office for a transaction processed today. A PDF is attached. I download the file. The connection is fast, but it feels slow. The blue progress bar creeps. I analyze the file name. ML Receipt 88941B, PDF. ML Marriage License. The file opens. It is a standard, sterile government form, a receipt for payment. Application for marriage license fee paid, $7,500. Payment type, credit card. Applicant 1, Pike, Evan J. Applicant 2, Whitaker, Cassidy, A. The letters are sharp, black, and absolute. My fiancé, my sister. I read them again. Evan Pike, Cassidy Whitaker. The monitor registers the anomaly first. Beep, 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 a faster tempo. My heart is suddenly working too hard, trying to pump blood through veins that have turned to ice. I close my eyes. Controls. Sloan. Breathe. This is an incident report. Stick to the facts. Fact. Evan Pike, my fiancé. The man who supposedly lives here in this apartment. The man who kissed my forehead this morning and told me to rest, has applied for a marriage license. Fact. Cassidy Whitaker, my sister, the woman I raised, the woman who was supposed to be my maid of honor, is the co-applicant. I scan the rest of the document. The details are what matter. Residential address listed. Both applicants. 412B, Sycamore Street, Apt 3. That is Cassidy's apartment, the one I co-signed for, the one I just paid the rent on. Evan does not live there. He lives here, at Riverbend, or so the lease, his driver's license, and his direct deposit forms, all of which I have copies of, Claim. Notes field. Witness pending. Appointment for verification. Friday, October 26th, 10:00 a.m., room 204. Friday, 3 days from now. I instinctively place a hand on my stomach, a cold, flat palm over the slight curve. The doctor's words echo in the sterile room. Absolute bed rest. Sloan. No stress. You cannot afford a spike in blood pressure. The risk of abruption is too high. I look at the monitor. My pressure is spiking. The machine is tattling on me. I take a slow breath, inflating my lungs by clinical count. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. I watch the numbers on the monitor recede. I am bringing my body back into compliance. My mind, however, is already at work. I move my hand from my stomach to the laptop. I close the email. I close my personal inbox. I open a secure shell. This is work now. The script I wrote last year for the Northgate internal fraud case, the one that caught a senior VP expensing fabricated consulting fees, is exactly what I need. I called it Look Back. It doesn't just scan new filings. It pulls the entire available history and metadata. I type in the command. I feed it the parameters: county, Fairwick, record type, ML, names, Pike, Evan J., Whitaker, Cassidy A., date, range, current. I hit enter. The script is a thing of beauty. It runs silently, a ghost in the county's public-facing servers. It doesn't hack. It just gathers what is legally available but intentionally obscured. It aggregates data points no human clerk would ever bother to connect. From my bed, tethered by wires and a high-risk fetus, I am now inside the Fairwick County Clerk's office. The script populates a local file. Log. Pulling public calendar for room 204. Log. Match found. 10:00 a.m. 10:26. Pike, Whitaker. ML. Clerk. J. D. Alvarez. Log. Pulling associated files submitted as pre-application. My screen fills. I see the digitized application form they submitted online to schedule the appointment. I see the scanned images of the IDs they uploaded. Evan's current driver's license, which lists this apartment. Cassidy's ID, which lists hers. This is the first mistake. The application requires both parties to list their current residential address. On the form, Evan has handwritten Cassidy's address, 412B Sycamore. It directly contradicts the ID he uploaded. A clerk processing a stack of these might miss it. J. D. Alvarez might be lazy. But I am not. This is not a mistake. This is fraud. He is attesting, on a legal document, that he lives with my sister. It's a clumsy, arrogant, flammable lie. I minimize the terminal. My screen is clean again, just the neutral gray wallpaper of the company. I pick up my phone. My fingers are steady. The heart monitor continues its placid beep. I call Evan. It rings twice. He picks up, his voice breathless and bright. Hey, babe, everything okay? The monitor? He always asks about the monitor first. I'm fine, I say. My voice is flat, colder than I intended. Just quiet. Where are you? Just finishing up at the gym. Hit a new PR on the leg press, he says. I listen past his words. I listen to the sound, the acoustics. The outline mentioned this, and my ears are trained for it. There is no muffled thud of weights, no gym-provided pop music. There is an echo, a distinct, concrete and steel echo. When he speaks, his voice bounces slightly. I hear the chirp of a car alarm being armed in the distance, followed by the heavy, hydraulic whoosh of a parking garage gate closing. He is in a parking garage, not the gym. That's great, Evan, I say. Yeah. Listen, I'm gonna shower real quick and grab us some lunch. That Thai place you like? I'm not hungry. A pause. The acoustics change. He's cupped the phone, or maybe gotten into his car. The echo is gone. Sloan? You sound tired. Are you sure you're okay? Just tired, I say. Don't rush. I'm just resting. Okay. I'll be home in 30. Love you. Love you, I reply. The words are data packets, delivered without content. I hang up. I stare at the block of light on the hardwood floor. It has moved perhaps an inch. The world is continuing, oblivious. I reach for the one analog tool I permit myself, a black, hardbound notebook and a fine-point gel pen. I open it to a clean page. I write the date, October 23rd. I write the time, 2:28 p.m. Incident: data integrity failure. Subjects: Pike, E. J. Whitaker, C. A. Location of subject Pike. Unknown parking garage. Per audio analysis. Claimed: Jim. Discrepancy. Confirmed. Location of subject Whitaker. Assumed 412B, Sycamore. Pending verification. They think I am sick. They think I am fragile, immobilized, and distracted by biology. They see a woman on a bed. They forgot who I am. They made this a document. They filed it with the county. They started a paper trail in a public forum, attesting to a lie that is now a permanent record. They made it official. I write 3 more words in the notebook, pressing the pen to the paper so hard the ink is sharp and final. Each letter is a separate, cold stroke. In public, the beep of the monitor is the only thing that proves I'm still here. I'm lying on my back, staring at the ceiling. The PDF of the marriage license minimized on my laptop screen. It's still there, a digital landmine waiting to be stepped on. My gaze drifts to the bookshelf across the room. It's lined with binders, technical manuals, and one single, out-of-place object. A large, cream-colored greeting card. "Congratulations on your engagement," it says in swirling silver script. Inside, on the left, is Evan's looping, optimistic signature. On the right, Cassidy's bubbly, all-caps handwriting. "So happy for my sister and my best friend. Now it's official. 3-3-3. I used to see it as a milestone. Now, I see it as a piece of evidence, a field note from the scene, documenting the co-conspirators. This has always been my family. We are a Christmas card family. Or at least, we were, when my mother was alive. The kind of family that wears coordinating plaid vests and sits on a pristine green lawn for a photo that gets mailed to distant relatives. We were the picture of suburban American stability. But the photographer, the postage, the cardstock, the bills for all of it, always came to me. When my mother died, the facade cracked. When my father left 6 months later, it shattered. I was 19, on a full academic scholarship, working 30 hours a week as a data entry temp, and I was suddenly the sole guardian of my 14-year-old sister, Cassidy. The bills kept coming. I look back at the laptop. Payment type. Credit card. I wonder whose card they used. Probably not mine, not directly. They're not that stupid. But the ecosystem they live in, I built it. The money they have, it flows from me. I put Cassidy through art school. I paid for the studio supplies, the overpriced textbooks, the dorm fees, and the late-night pizza. I did it by trading my 20s for late nights at audit firms, by living on instant ramen and free office coffee, by clawing my way from temp to intern to associate to director. I built a career out of finding the cracks in other people's systems so I could afford to patch the ones in my own. And Cassidy? She resented me for it. I remember the fight. 3 years ago, I'd gotten another automated alert, that one from a credit bureau. She had $14,000 in credit card debt across 3 cards, all maxed out on art supplies, concert tickets, and dinners I knew she couldn't afford. She was 23 and about to have her wages garnished. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I sat her down at my kitchen table, pulled her statements, and created a spreadsheet. I built a repayment plan, a waterfall model that prioritized the highest interest card first. I automated her payments, consolidated the debt onto a zero-interest card, in my name, of course, and set her up with a strict weekly budget. I saved her. By the time I was done, her credit was salvaged and the debt was gone in 18 months. She looked at the final, paid-in-full statement, threw it on the table, and said, "I feel suffocated." "You're welcome," I'd said, closing my laptop. This isn't helping, Sloan. This is just control. You have to control everything. She called it control. I call it accounts receivable. Evan was supposed to be the opposite. He was my respite from the chaos. He was stable. He was simple. He wasn't a project. He's an operations specialist at Northgate Therapeutics. I got him the interview. He was working in logistics for a regional grocery chain, and I saw an opening in our new cold storage trial project. It was a perfect fit. He was good with inventory, with schedules, with the physical movement of things. He understood systems he could touch. You're so practical. Sloan, he'd tell me, rubbing my feet after a long day. You're so calm. You just make everything solid. He liked my stability. He liked my salary. He liked the perks. 3 months ago, he told me he had a big presentation with the VP of supply chain. I want to look the part. You know? Make a good impression for us. He asked to use a supplementary card, one on my account, for emergencies, to buy a new suit, a good one. He said it was an investment in our future. I look at the PDF again. Appointment. Friday, 10:00 a.m. The Northgate All-Hands Town Hall meeting is also Friday at 10:00 a.m. His big presentation was apparently a success. He's an operations specialist. He is not, however, required at the town hall. But I'm scheduled to lead the first 15 minutes, a quarterly update on compliance and records integrity. They're drawn to the spotlight, both of them. Evan with his new suit and his glad handing, Cassidy with her art shows and her desperate need for applause. They are performers. They love the bright lights, the stage, the center of attention. I've always preferred the darkness at the back of the auditorium. I'm the one behind the projector, the one who makes sure the presentation runs. I'm the one watching the data logs stream down the monitor, a rain of digital information that tells the real story. Across the room, next to the engagement card, is a framed brochure. It's for a small, 3-bedroom house in Briar Court, a quiet street, good schools, a yard. We put the deposit down 6 weeks ago. The pre-approval on the mortgage was contingent on our joint income, but the preferential interest rate was locked in pending receipt of marriage certificate. They weren't just stealing my fiancé and my sister. They were leveraging my good credit to do it. They were systematically dismantling my life and using the component parts to build their own. I've spent my entire life being the support structure, the one who anticipates the problem, pays the bill, and cleans up the mess. In every family photo from the last 15 years, I'm the one holding the camera. I am the one documenting everyone else's happiness, making sure they are centered, well-lit, and smiling. I am always just outside the frame. I pick up my work laptop. My fingers move across the keys, the slight click-clack sound cutting through the beep of the monitor. I log into the corporate portal. I navigate to the town hall schedule. I find my presentation file. This time, the camera will be turned on me, and I will be holding the evidence. My laptop screen is a grid of secure windows. One holds the county clerk's database. One holds my personal bank statements. One holds a remote connection to the Northgate Therapeutics server. The heart monitor continues its steady beep, a lonely metronome for a digital hunt. Data doesn't lie, but it does hide. My first query is personal. Evan and I share a synced cloud account, family calendar, photo backups, location services. He thinks it's for convenience. I think of it as a shared ledger. I check the device login history. Device, iPhone 14 Pro, Evan, last login, 2:19 p.m. Successful. IP address, 72.201.244.119. Provider, Comcast Cable. I run a reverse IP lookup. The system pings. Hostname, C722014419 HSD1 A. Comcast, net. Geolocation, Fairwick, VA registered, 2, Whitaker, Cassidy. A. Address, 412B Sycamore Street. Apt, 3. He wasn't in a parking garage when I called him. He wasn't at the gym. He was logged into my sister's Wi-Fi network, the one I pay the bill for. He was sitting on her couch, in her apartment, lying to me while applying for a marriage license with her. The concrete echo I heard over the phone? It was the sound of my own trust hitting the floor. Next, the money, the $7,500 clerk fee. I open my credit card statement. The primary card is clean. I click the tab for supplementary users. User, Pike, Evan J., the card I gave him for emergencies, and that one suit. I scan the recent transactions. Oct 23, Fairwick County Clerk, $7,500. Oct 22, The Gilded Petal, $1,450.88. Oct 22, Minted.com, 212 Oct 20, 1-800 burner email, $4.99. My breath catches, not from shock, from clarity. This is a pattern. The Gilded Petal, a high-end floral designer, minted, wedding invitations, and a burner email service. The charge for the burner email hits me like a splash of ice water. He didn't just use my card. He used my card to buy the tools to hide his other purchases. I pivot. The burner email is the key. It's the root directory of their plan. I go to the Gilded Petal website. Check your order status. I type in the supplementary card number and the shipping address. Cassidy's, of course. The system grants access. An invoice opens. Order 4409, a full bridal package, white roses, eucalyptus, calla lilies. Delivery date, November 18th. The email address on the order is evanandcassidy@tempmail.org. He didn't even try to be clever. I log into that burner email account. There's no password. It's a public temp box, designed to self-destruct in 24 hours, but they bought the $4.99 plan, which extends its life for 30 days. Arrogant and cheap. The inbox is a digital confession. Receipt from the Gilded Petal. Proof approval from Minted. Com for save the dates. Confirmation from a caterer for a 50-person deposit. An inquiry to a travel agent about honeymoon packages to Aruba. They weren't just applying for a license. They were planning a full-scale wedding, funded by me, while I was trapped in this bed. I go back to my county clerk script. It pulled the uploaded attachments from the application. I open the file, Proof of Residence E. Pike, JPG. It's a picture of a utility bill, a water bill. It's addressed to Evan Pike, at 412B Sycamore Street. It's a fabrication. I know because I handle all the utilities for Cassidy's apartment. They are all in my name. This document is a forgery. I open the file's metadata, the EXIF data. This is the digital fingerprint. Device, iPhone 12, Cassidy. Timestamp, 1:04 p.m. Oct 23. Geolocation, 38.8049 degrees. N, 77.1087 degrees W. My hands go cold. I know those coordinates. I don't need a map. That's our father's house, the one the bank foreclosed on after he left. Specifically, it's the GPS tag for the end of the driveway, right by the old, rusted mailbox. Cassidy must have taken the picture there, a fake bill, photographed in the wreckage of our old life, to build a new life on a new lie. Now the corporate systems, Evan's alibi. I log into the Northgate Building Management portal. I have administrative access as Director of Controls. I pull the access logs for the employee parking garage. User, Pike, Evan J. ID 4490. Time, 2:18 p.m. Ost 23. Location, garage, level 3. Entrance, action, badge in, successful. He badged into the garage at 2:18 p.m. My call to him was at 2:20 p.m. He wasn't at the gym. He was just arriving back to the office from his errand at the county clerk. He took my call from the Northgate parking garage, lied, and then clocked back in. I pull his time card data from the HR portal for today. October 23rd, Evan Pike has logged 8:30 a.m., 12:00 p.m. On site, cold storage project, 12:00 p.m., 1:00 p.m. Lunch, off-site, 1:00 p.m., 5:00 p.m. On site, data entry and logistics. According to his time card, he was on site at 1:04 p.m. when Cassidy was taking a picture of a fake bill, and he was on site at 2:17 p.m. when the county clerk processed his $7,500 payment. He is actively billing Northgate Therapeutics for time spent committing application fraud. This is no longer a personal matter. He has crossed the firewall. This is a corporate integrity violation. One last check. What else is he doing on our system? I check the HR portal again. I look for any pending administrative actions. A draft request. Saved in the system yesterday. User, Pike, Evan J. Form, 77B. Change of life insurance beneficiary. Current beneficiary. Whitaker. Sloan, A. FIANCÉ. Requested change. Draft. Whitaker. Cassidy, A. Sister. He listed her as his sister. A new lie. This one even more grotesque. A transparent attempt to hide the relationship from any HR algorithm while ensuring she gets the payout. My payout. The one that comes with my job, my title, my high-stress life. The case is built. Now, I secure it. I open a new email. This one from my personal account, but the language is all corporate. To J.D. Alvarez at Fairwick County, Gov. Clerk, Fairwick County, Gov. Subject, urgent. Request for legal. Hold, application 88941B, Pike, Whitaker. Body. Dear Mr. Alvarez, pursuant to the Virginia Public Records Act and statutes regarding the verification of identity, I am formally requesting a legal hold on the original physical copy of marriage license application 88941B. I write that I have reason to believe the application contains fraudulent information, specifically regarding the attestation of residence, and that the original document must be preserved in its current state, unaltered, pending an official review. I CC my corporate counsel's private email. I send it. The trap is set. I pull up the clerk's public calendar again. The appointment is firm. 10:00 a.m. Friday. October 26. I open my Northgate calendar. 10:00 a.m. Friday. October 26. Event. Northgate Q3 Town Hall. Location. Auditorium. Teams live. Attendees. All staff. Presenter. Sloan Whitaker. Compliance opener. The timing is perfect. They will be standing in front of a county clerk, attesting to their lies, at the exact moment I am standing in front of the entire company with a microphone. I open the PowerPoint deck for my town hall presentation. It's the standard, boring quarterly update. I delete 3 slides. I insert a new section. I title the section, Case Study, Project Cold Storage. I begin to copy and paste. I take screenshots of the fake utility bill, the time card discrepancy, the burner email invoice, and the beneficiary change request. I meticulously redact the names. Evan Pike becomes Employee A, Cassidy Whitaker becomes External Party B, the Gilded Petal becomes Vendor X. I am creating an ethics training module, a hypothetical case study on conflict of interest, benefits fraud, and time card theft. It is anonymous. It is clinical. But to one person in that room, it will be a live execution. On the final slide, I type a single, hidden line, setting the font color to white so only I can see it when I'm in presenter mode. A note to myself. You think I'm too still to move. Watch me. I save the file. The architecture is complete. Now, the logistics of deployment. I am, after all, tethered to a heart monitor. I pick up my phone and dial my OB/GYN. Dr. Hassan's office. This is Sloan Whitaker. I need to speak with the doctor. It's an urgent medical question. She comes on the line, her voice wary. Sloan? Is it the monitor? Are you having cramping? No, doctor. Everything is stable. I have a logistical requirement. I need to be off-site, away from my bed, for approximately 2 hours this Friday morning. A sharp inhale on the other end. Absolutely not. Sloan, we discussed this. You are at critical risk. Absolute bed rest means exactly that. What could possibly be this important? I look at the laptop screen, at the case file I've built. It's a non-negotiable legal and professional matter, I say. My voice is calm and flat as the EKG line. I will not be walking. I will be in a wheelchair. I will have a professional medical transport escort, both ways. My heart rate will be monitored continuously. I will not elevate my blood pressure, but I will be there. I am informing you as a courtesy and to ensure my medical file reflects the supervised nature of the excursion. There is a long, heavy silence. 2 hours, she finally says, her voice tight with disapproval. Door to door, and you send me your vitals from the transport's monitor every 15 minutes. If I see a single spike, Sloan, I'm admitting you. Understood. Doctor, thank you. I hang up. I book the medical transport. The pieces are in place. The data is locked. The hunters are now the hunted. The plan is a 2-track system. Track 1 is corporate. Track 2 is personal. They run in parallel, designed to converge at a single, unavoidable point. My first call is to Anya Sharma, Northgate's general counsel. I don't use my work phone. I don't use Teams. I dial her private cell, the one she uses for crises. The 48 hours since I found the receipt have been a blur of silent, horizontal work. It is now Thursday afternoon, the day before the town hall. Anya, Sloan Whitaker. Sloan, she says, her voice immediately sharpening. She knows I'm on high-risk leave. A call from me on this line means a fire. Are you okay? Do you need me to call someone? I'm stable, I say, the word tasting like ash. My vitals are fine. I'm calling about a Tier 1 compliance failure. I need you on stage with me tomorrow morning at the town hall. Silence. Then, on stage? Sloan, you're on protected medical leave. You shouldn't even be thinking about... This can't be an email. Anya, I'm bringing a case study to the compliance presentation. It involves potential time card fraud, benefits fraud, and a significant, undisclosed conflict of interest under Section 4B. I hear her click a pen. 4B, familial and romantic relationships with vendors or coworkers. Who? The presentation is anonymized, but the data is live. I have reason to believe the employee in question is actively engaged in fraudulent activity, and that he will be attempting to finalize a related legal action tomorrow morning at 10:00 a.m., precisely when he is scheduled to be on the clock, and precisely when our town hall begins. Anya lets out a low whistle. He's falsifying his time card to commit fraud. That is also a conflict of interest. That's bold. It's sloppy, I correct her. I need you there. When I present the case study, I need you to step forward and speak, officially, to the company's legal position on clawbacks, termination for cause, and our policy regarding referral to law enforcement. You're not just flagging a violation, Sloan. You're building a gallows. I'm Director of Controls. Anya, I'm just making sure the mechanism is sound. Can I count on you? I'll be on stage, she says, and I'll bring the termination paperwork, pre-signed by HR, just in case your hypothetical case study suddenly becomes specific. Track 1 is armed. I hang up and immediately move to Track 2, the personal. I open a new text message to Cassidy. My fingers are steady. The beep of the heart monitor is my rhythm section. I type, Cassidy, I've been going through old storage files. I found the box of Mother's wedding things. I pause, letting the bait sit. She's always been desperately sentimental about the mother she barely remembers, obsessed with the heirlooms she felt were her due. Her reply is almost instant. The veil? The silver locket? Yes, both. I was going to use them, but given my situation, I want you to have them. I can't have them sitting here. Oh my God, Sloan. Yes, I can come over right now. No, I'm not up for visitors. I have to be at the Northgate building tomorrow morning for a brief check-in. It's the only time I'll be out of bed all week. Meet me there. The office? Weird. Okay. 10:15 a.m. The main auditorium on the 6th floor. I'll leave a visitor's pass for you at the front desk. I can give you the box then. See you there. Thanks, sis. This means a lot. I close the phone. Sis, the word is a foreign object. She will walk into that auditorium expecting a moment of sisterly reconciliation and the surrender of a family treasure. She will get, instead, a public audit. Track 2 is armed. Next, the logistics. I cannot be in two places at once, but my assets can. My call to the medical transport company was a lie to Dr. Hassan. My real call was to a discreet corporate services firm I've used for background checks. I hired a bonded private investigator, a former fraud detective named Sands. His fee for a 3-hour job was eye-watering, and I paid it from my personal account. His instructions were specific. He is not my driver. He is my proxy. He will be at the Fairwick County Courthouse at 9:45 a.m. He will have a high-resolution camera. He will not engage. He will only observe and document. While Sands stakes out the courthouse, my actual transport, a non-emergency executive medical service, arrives at my apartment building. It's 8:30 a.m. on Friday. The morning is cold and sharp. The driver is professional. He and an EMT move me from my bed to the reclining wheelchair. The portable heart monitor is clipped to the chair's armrest. Beep, beep, beep. I am vertical for the first time in 3 weeks. The head rush is violent, but I lock my jaw and breathe through it. We arrive at the Northgate Tower at 9:15 a.m. They wheel me through the executive entrance, up the private elevator, and into the green room behind the main auditorium. The AV tech looks at me, his eyes wide with surprise. "Ms. Whitaker, we thought you were presenting remotely." "Plans changed. Ken," I say, "are we set for the standard compliance recording? Audio and video, for the archive?" "Yes, ma'am. Camera 1 is a wide shot. Camera 2 is on the podium. The red light will be on. We're live to Teams and recording to the server." "Excellent. One more thing. I won't be using the podium clicker. I'll be controlling the deck from my phone. Just push my feed live when I give you the signal." "You got it. Good to have you back, even if it's just for a minute." I give him a tight smile. I open the presentation app on my phone. I have the deck in the palm of my hand. I sit in the quiet darkness of the green room. 9:45 a.m. The auditorium is beginning to fill. I can hear the low murmur of the all-staff chatter. My personal phone vibrates. A text from Sands. 8:30 a.m. Medical transport picks me up. 9 o'clock a.m. I arrive at Northgate. I get settled in the green room behind the auditorium. I'm early. I'm always early. 9:15 a.m. I run systems checks. I talk to AV. "Yes, just the standard record and archive for compliance training, as always." 9:30 a.m. I confirm with AV that the presentation clicker is my phone. I open the app. I control the slides. 9:45 a.m. I set my first alarm. 9:55 a.m. Check clerk cam. I don't need to be there. I have assets. 9:55 a.m. My alarm vibrates. I text Mr. Sands. Status? 9:57 a.m. My phone vibrates. A text from Sands. Targets acquired. Entering building. 10 o'clock a.m. The town hall projector whirs to life. My second alarm. Go time. 10:11 a.m. I'm on stage. I get another text from Sands. Image attached. Targets exiting. Folder in hand. Smiling. Click. The evidence is captured while I am on stage. This is much stronger. I check my alarms. Alarm 1. 9:55 a.m. Check proxy. Alarm 2. 10:01 a.m. Projector live. I had already completed the last, coldest task 2 days ago. From my bed, I'd called the bank managing the escrow for the Briar Courthouse. "This is Sloan Whitaker, reference number 902B, I'd said, my voice flat. "I am terminating my purchase agreement for 14 Briar Court, effective immediately." The agent sputtered. "Ms. Whitaker, the closing is in 2 weeks. You'll forfeit the entire $20,000 deposit." "I am aware," I said. "Please execute the termination. I am sending you new wiring instructions for those funds. I am forfeiting the deposit and converting it into a retainer." "A retainer for—" "The Family Law Division of Kyle, Roth, and Associates." My house deposit was now my war chest. My phone vibrates. 9:55 a.m. My first alarm. I text Sans. Status? The reply is immediate. Targets acquired. Male, gray suit, female, white dress, entering room 204. They look happy. A cold, sharp pain lances through my chest. The monitor chirps. A brief acceleration. Beep, beep. I close my eyes. Controls. Sloan. Anya Sharma finds me in the green room. She is holding a slim leather portfolio and a tablet. Sloan, you look... Compliant, I offer. Pale, she says. Are you sure you can do this? The data is sound, Anya. That's all that matters. Okay, HR's on standby. The termination letter is synced to my tablet. The moment you give me the name, I hit send. It will revoke his building access and system privileges instantly. He'll be a ghost before he even knows he's dead. Thank you, Anya. 10:01 a.m. My second alarm. The projector in the main hall whirs to life. The lights dim. The CEO is walking on stage. I text Sans. Send acquisition the moment you have it. The CEO's voice booms through the speakers. A strong quarter, and now, to walk us through our quarterly compliance and controls update, someone we are all thrilled to see back in the building, our Director of Controls, Sloan Whitaker. The EMT pushes my wheelchair onto the stage. The spotlight hits me. It's warm, and I feel nauseous. The portable monitor on my chair beeps, a quiet, insistent reminder of my fragility. I see the faces, hundreds of them. I see Evan's team, the cold storage guys, in the third row. But Evan is not there. His seat is empty. He is, at this exact moment, in violation of company policy. I raise my phone. Thank you. Mark, it's good to be here. As you all know, controls and records are not just about finding errors. They're about protecting the integrity of our company. Let's begin. I tap my phone. The first slide clicks on. My phone vibrates in my hand. A new message. It's from Sans. It contains 3 images. A photo of Evan and Cassidy at the clerk's counter, smiling at Clerk J. D. Alvarez. A close-up of the clerk stamping the final, approved marriage license. A time-stamped photo of them on the courthouse steps, kissing, holding the blue folder aloft like a trophy. Time, 10:11 a.m. The evidence is in. The tracks have converged. My phone is a block of cold glass in my hand. It is 10:11 a.m. I am on stage, in a wheelchair, under a spotlight that feels less like warmth and more like an interrogation lamp. The CEO has just finished his introduction. The low, polite applause of a mandatory corporate meeting washes over me. In my lap, my phone is not displaying my presentation notes. It's displaying the full, detailed after-action report from Sans, my proxy. The photos he sent were the summary. This is the granular data. As the CEO steps back and Anya Sharma takes her seat in the front row, I read, I see exactly what happened in the 10 minutes I was waiting in the dark. Sans's report is clinical, written in the flat, observant prose of a detective. 9:58 a.m. Targets acquired, proceeding east through the main lobby of the Fairwick County Courthouse. He describes the hallway. He notes the cold, white, buzzing fluorescent lights overhead, casting a sterile glare on the polished terrazzo floors. He notes the sound, not celebration, but the hard, echoing click of Cassidy's heels and the squeak of Evan's dress shoes, too new to be broken in. 9:59 a.m. Targets at counter, room 204. Clerk, J. D. Alvarez. A photo accompanies this. Evan, standing at the high counter, leaning in. He is wearing the suit, the charcoal gray, single-breasted suit I paid for with my supplementary card, an investment in our future. Sans, ever the detail man. Notes, subject Pike's tie, navy, is knotted 1 centimeter too far to the left, appears rushed, holding blue vinyl folder. A second photo, a close-up, focuses on Cassidy. She is wearing a simple white dress, but my eyes lock on her wrist, my mother's silver locket bracelet, the one I kept in my jewelry box. The one she must have taken from my room, from this very apartment, while I was asleep or at a doctor's appointment. Sans notes. Subject Whitaker has smudged blue ink on the cuticle of her right ring finger, consistent with rapid signature. She was in a hurry to steal my life. 10:02 a.m. Clerk Alvarez requested application, identification, and proof of cohabitation. This is the moment, the pivot point. Subject Pike provided a Virginia driver's license, address 1 Riverbend Tower, Apt 3012. Note: primary residence of Whitaker, S., and a folded utility bill. Subject Whitaker provided her driver's license, address 412B Sycamore Street, Apt 3. Clerk Alvarez reviewed the documents, paused. He looked at Pike's ID, then at the utility bill. He looked back at Pike. Sands's report includes a partial audio transcript. He was close enough to record. Alvarez: Sir, this utility bill is for 412B Sycamore. Your ID is for Riverbend Tower. These don't match. I can picture the scene, the moment where the entire fraud could collapse. But Evan, my Evan, is a salesman. Subject Pike laughed, placed palm flat on counter, audibly stated, Oh man, you got me. I just moved in with her. Haven't had time to hit the DMV. You know how it is with the lines. That Sycamore place is ours. Sands's analysis. Subject did not display physiological signs of deception. Sweat, avoidance of eye contact. Behavior was glib, confident, smiled. Subject. Whitaker looked at Subject Pike, smiling. He wasn't nervous. He was performing. He was signing for a package. 10:06 a.m. Clerk Alvarez sighed, reviewed the bill again. It was a valid, recent water bill. Note: bill was in Subject Whitaker's name, for 412B Sycamore. The lie was not the bill. The lie was Pike's claim of residence. Alvarez did not cross-reference the Riverbend address. He was lazy, or tired. It was Friday. It wasn't his job to care. 10:07 a.m. Clerk Alvarez picked up the official seal, a heavy, ink-loaded manual stamp. He pressed it onto the application. The sound was audible from my position. Thud, thud. Two final, dull, percussive sounds, the validation of a lie. 10:08 a.m. Clerk Alvarez pushed the blue folder, now containing the certified license, toward the subjects. Congratulations. You have 60 days. 10:11 a.m. Subjects exited the courthouse. See attached images. The photos I already saw. Kissing on the steps. Holding the license like a trophy. The applause in the auditorium dies. The CEO motions to me. I am live. The red light on the camera in the back of the room is a glowing red eye. I am on the record. I look at the hundreds of faces. I see the empty seat in the third row where Evan should be. My phone vibrates in my lap. It is not Sands. It is an automated, system-generated push notification from the Northgate HR portal. Alert. User 4490, Pike E., has initiated a session in the G Benefits portal. A second notification. Milliseconds later. Alert. User 4490, Pike E., has accessed module, life insurance, and beneficiary designations. He didn't even wait. He is sitting in his car, in the courthouse parking lot, with his new marriage license in his hand, and the very first thing he does, while officially on the clock, billing Northgate Therapeutics for his time, is log into our system to strip me of his life insurance policy and assign it to my sister. He is liquidating me. My fingers move, blurring over the screen, hidden by the lectern. I open my corporate email. I find the screenshot I took 2 days ago, the one of his drafted beneficiary change request, the one where he listed Cassidy as his sister. I attach it to a new message. To Anya Sharma. Subject. Addendum. Case C. Body. He's in the system right now. Anya. Making it official. This is live. I hit send. In the front row. I watch Anya look down at her tablet. Her eyes narrow. She reads the email. She looks up at me. She gives me one. Slow, precise nod. The gallows are now fully operational. Now, track 2. I switch to my text messages. I find Cassidy. Her name glows on the screen. Hey, I'm at the office. It's chaos. The CEO is here. I can't get away. I left the box with your name on it with security at the main desk. They'll buzz you through. It's the one with Mother's things. Her reply is instant. On my way. I type one more message. Oh, wait. The lobby guard just texted. He's stepping away. Just go straight to my apartment. I left the box right inside the door. The code is the same as our old one. 0816. Got it. See you soon? 3. I turn the phone off. She will race to Riverbend Towers. She will bypass the front desk. Thinking she's being clever, she will stand in the hallway, the quiet, carpeted, luxurious hallway. She will punch in the code. 0816. The code to our first apartment. The one I worked 2 jobs to keep us in after our father left. The keypad light will flash red. It will beep. Access denied. Because at 7 a.m. this morning, a 24-hour locksmith I paid a triple emergency fee to was at my apartment. He changed the physical tumbler, and he wiped every single user code from the digital keypad. All of them. Evan's code, Cassidy's code, the dog walker's code. Only one code remains, mine. That door is now a wall of steel and glass. She is locked out. I look up. The red light of the camera is bright. The room is silent. It is my turn to speak. Good morning, everyone, I say. My voice is perfectly level, amplified by the microphone. It doesn't shake. The heart monitor on my chair offers its steady, quiet beep. Thank you for being here. My name is Sloan Whitaker. Let's talk about integrity. The 48 hours before the town hall were not a period of mourning. They were a period of calibration. My apartment at Riverbend Towers, the one Evan still believed he had access to, became a silent, sterile command center. My bed was the workstation. The rhythmic beep of the heart monitor was the only sound, the metronome of my focus. Every action I took was cold, precise, and documented. This is how I turn a personal betrayal into a corporate compliance case. This is how I build a machine. First, the primary weapon, the presentation deck. I opened the existing file. Q3, Town Hall Compliance, PTX. It was a bland, standard-issue deck filled with pie charts about phishing scams and reminders about password complexity. I deleted slides 4 through 8. I inserted a new 10-page module. I titled the module, Case Study C, a real-time analysis of internal control failure. I did not use their names. I did not have to. I used their data. I created Employee A, an operations specialist in the cold storage division. I created External Party B, the immediate family member of another Northgate employee. I embedded the screenshots, the redacted $4.99 charge from 1-800 burner email, the redacted $1,450.88 invoice from the Gilded Petal, both charged to a supplementary corporate card issued to Employee A for T&E. I created a timeline. On one side, I listed the company time card for Employee A for Tuesday, October 23rd. It read, 1:00 p.m., 5:00 p.m., on-site, project logistics. On the other side, I listed a series of time-stamped external data points. 1:04 p.m., geotagged metadata from a fraudulent document, the water bill. 2:17 p.m., credit card transaction timestamp, the $7,500 clerk fee. 2:18 p.m., Northgate parking garage badge-in log. 2:20 p.m., phone call to supervisor claiming to be at the gym. I did not add commentary. I just placed the 2 timelines side by side. The lie was self-evident. On the next slide, I listed the risk criteria this case triggered. I used the official corporate code numbers. Risk, benefits fraud. Code 14.G. Actively attempting to modify life insurance beneficiary status based on a relationship intentionally falsified in the HR portal, e.g., listing a romantic partner as sister to bypass relational flags. Risk, abuse of assets, Code 7C, Unauthorized use of company credit card for personal, non-disclosed activities. Risk, time card theft, code 11A, knowingly billing the company for hours not worked while actively engaged in personal activities. Risk, misrepresentation for profit, code 9.F, falsifying legal documents, e.g., residency attestation, required for a process, e.g., mortgage, marriage, that leverages company-provided income and benefits. This was no longer a domestic dispute. It was a multi-point failure of internal controls. My second move was securing air cover. I could not, as a director on medical leave, simply walk onto a stage and detonate a bomb. I had to make it procedural. I sent a brief, encrypted email to Mark Harrison, our CEO. Subject: Urgent. Q3. Town Hall Deck. Addendum, Mark. I am on medical leave, but a critical compliance issue has come to my attention. I have prepared a brief, fully anonymized case study on it. It's a textbook example of several high-risk vectors: time theft, benefits fraud, converging. I believe it is a powerful teaching moment for the company. Requesting your formal approval to present this as my opener. My physician has cleared me for the 2-hour excursion. Sloan. Mark is a numbers man. He hates fraud. He sees it as leakage on the balance sheet. His reply came in under 3 minutes. Sloan, if you're well enough, I'm glad to have you. I trust your judgment. Burn them down. Approved. He had no idea who he had just authorized me to burn. My third move was to arm my legal counsel. I forwarded the approved deck to Anya Sharma, our general counsel, who I had already primed. Her role was not to be my emotional support. Her role was to be the voice of the policy manual. Anya, per our conversation, here is the approved deck. I will be on stage, in the wheelchair. I need you standing to my left. When I get to slide 7, the risk matrix, I will turn to you. I need you to confirm, for the record, the legal definition of termination for cause and Northgate's non-negotiable policy on clawing back compensation related to fraudulent activity. Sloan. Her reply? I will be there. I will have the relevant sections of the employee handbook ready to quote verbatim. My fourth move was arranging the stage. The geography of the room. Evan, like most of the ops guys, always sat in the back, near the exit, checking his phone. Not this time. I sent a message to his direct manager. Jim, great news. As part of my compliance opener, I'm giving a brief shout-out to the cold storage team for their flawless Q3 inventory controls. Please ensure your entire team is present and seated in the reserved operations block. Row 3, center. We want the camera to see them when I give the nod. Sloan. A small, necessary fabrication. Jim was thrilled. Will do. Sloan, the team will be happy to get the recognition. Evan was now locked into the front row, the kill zone. My fifth move was to prime the audience. I wanted the entire company to be my jury. I logged into the admin panel for the town hall's interactive software. I programmed a poll, set to push live to every employee's phone exactly 60 seconds before I was introduced. Interactive poll. As per policy, 4.B is an employee required to disclose a romantic relationship with the immediate family member of another Northgate employee? Yes, all such relationships must be disclosed. N. No, this is a private matter. It was a simple question. It would get everyone thinking about the rule. It would make them read the policy I was about to enforce. My sixth move was to ensure the record. This was standard procedure, but I confirmed it in writing. I sent an email to Ken, the head of AV. Subject: Q3. Town Hall. Recording Ken. Confirming standard archival procedure for tomorrow's town hall. Full audio and video recording will be retained for a minimum of 7 years, as per our compliance and audit retention policy. 88. Sloan. He replied, confirmed. Sloan, we always record, but thanks for the flag. The camera would not just be a feed, it would be a deposition. My seventh move was the company-wide reminder. This was the shot across the bow. On Thursday morning, 24 hours before the event, I sent an email from my official director-level account. From Controls and Records, Northgate. Subject, Mandatory Reminder, Policy 4. B. Disclosure of Personal Relationships. All Northgate staff. This is your semi-annual reminder regarding your obligations under Section 4 of the Northgate Code of Conduct. All personal, romantic, or financial relationships with other Northgate employees, or their immediate family members, must be disclosed to your manager and HR within 30 days of initiation. This policy exists to protect the company, and yourselves, from potential conflicts of interest, perceived favoritism, and operational risk. Failure to disclose is a Level 4 violation and may be grounds for immediate termination. Thank you. Sloan Whitaker, Director of Controls and Records. The email landed in over 2,000 inboxes, to 1,099 people. It was bureaucratic spam. To Evan, it was a test. Would he panic? Would he confess? I checked the server logs. He opened it. He read it. He did nothing. He thought he was invisible. My 8th move was preparing the personal track. While the corporate engine was being tuned, I prepared the 2 legal packets for the Fairwick County Clerk. Packet 1. My affidavit, clearly stating I was the primary leaseholder at Riverbend, that Evan Pike was a permitted occupant, not a resident, and that his attestation of living at 412B Sycamore was a material falsehood. Packet 2. My lawyer's formal petition to invalidate marriage license 88941B on the grounds of fraud and perjury. I printed them. The crisp paper sat in a manila envelope on my bedside table, stamped and ready to be filed. My final move was the most important. It was the bullet for the chamber. I opened a new document. Form 11C. Request for Formal Internal Investigation. This was my authority as director. I did not need HR. I did not need the CEO. I had the power to initiate an investigation. I listed the complainant, Sloan Whitaker. I listed the subjects, Employee 4490, Pike, E, an external party, Whitaker, C. I listed the allegations, time card fraud, benefits fraud, misuse of assets, violation of Code 4. I outlined the evidence I had already gathered. I digitally signed the document, Sloan A, Whitaker. The timestamp read 8:15 a.m., Friday, October 26. I saved the PDF to my desktop. The machine was built. The ordnance was stacked. Every chess piece was in its designated square. I drank a glass of water, checked the wires on my heart monitor, and waited for my medical transport. The game was no longer theirs to play. It was mine. The auditorium on the 6th floor is warm. Too warm. The air is still, smelling faintly of industrial carpet and weak coffee. 2 large, blue and gray Northgate Therapeutics banners hang on either side of the stage. Flanking the massive projector screen, a single, small, unobtrusive red light glows on the camera at the back of the room. It's the light I'm focused on. It means we are on the record. The EMT, a young man with a polite, practiced emptiness in his eyes, pushes my reclining wheelchair up the ramp and into the center of the stage. He places me next to the lectern, angles me toward the audience, and locks the wheels with a soft, metallic click. He recedes into the shadows of the wings. I am alone under the lights. Anya Sharma is in the front row. Tablet in hand, Mark, the CEO, is beside her. I scan the 3rd row. Center block. The reserved for operations seats. Jim, Evan's manager, is there. The rest of his team is there. Evan's seat is empty. Of course it is. It is 10:14 a.m. According to Sands's text, he and Cassidy walked out of the courthouse, license in hand. At 10:11 a.m., he's probably in his car right now, speeding down the interstate, logging into the HR portal to finish liquidating me. He thinks he's celebrating. I adjust the microphone. The small, rhythmic beep of my portable heart monitor, the one strapped to the chair's armrest, is barely audible, a quiet, electronic underscore to the proceedings. Good morning, I say. My voice is amplified, filling the room. It is perfectly steady. There is no tremor, no emotion. It is the voice of a director. Thank you, Mark, for the introduction. For those I haven't met, I am Sloan Whitaker, Director of Controls and Records. I tap my phone. Slide 1 appears on the massive screen behind me. Q3 Compliance. Update. Key metrics and process integrity. I'll be brief, I continue, my voice a flat, professional monotone. As you know, my department is responsible for ensuring the integrity of our processes. This quarter, we've successfully implemented new automated checks on expense reporting, reducing non-compliant submissions by 22%. We've also completed the integration of the... I let the corporate jargon flow for exactly 2 minutes. I am establishing a baseline. I am the boring compliance director, the one people check their phones on. I am lulling them into a state of passive listening. But metrics are only half the story, I say, and the shift in my tone is so slight, only a trained ear would catch it. The other half is culture, and the best way to test a culture is with a real-world scenario. I tap my phone. Slide 2 clicks into view. The screen is now a stark white, black, sans serif letters fill the center. Case study, a question of disclosure. And below it, the poll question. If an active Northgate employee, Employee A, is pursuing a legal marriage license with an external party, Party B, who is the known immediate family member, e.g., sister, of another Northgate employee, Employee C, is Employee A required to disclose this relationship to HR under Policy 4.B? A low collective ding echoes through the auditorium as the poll is pushed to all 2,000 employee phones simultaneously. It's the sound of the trap springing. Please take a moment to answer on your devices, I say. I watch the front rows. People look up from their laps, confused. This isn't the usual, did this email look like phishing question. This is specific. This is legal. On the main screen, the results appear in real time, a blue bar and a gray bar. Yes, disclosure required. 98% no, a private matter. 2%, that's a strong consensus, I say, my voice still perfectly level. 98% of you correctly identify this as a mandatory disclosure. It is not a private matter when it intersects with our company. I tap my phone again. The poll vanishes. The next slide appears. It is the timeline. It is a simple 2-column table. Column 1. Employee A. Self-reported time card. Tuesday, October 23, 1 p.m. on-site. 200 p.m. on-site. 300 p.m. on-site. Column 2. Auditable data trail, external and internal. 1:04 p.m. GPS meta tag from fraudulent document, Sycamore Saint. 2:17 p.m. Credit card transaction, Fairwick County Clerk. 2:18 p.m. Parking garage. Badge in, Northgate L3. 2:20 p.m. Call to supervisor, claim at gym. A low murmur builds in the room. This isn't theory. This is a real, documented case. This is granular. As you can see, I say, using my laser pointer to circle the 2:17 p.m. transaction and the on-site time card entry, we have a significant data integrity failure. We have an employee billing the company for hours while simultaneously engaging in off-site personal and legal activities. But the timeline is only the beginning of the problem. The nature of the activity is the real issue. I tap my phone. The next slide shows the other screenshots, all anonymized. The $4.99 charge for a burner email service, the $1,450 invoice for wedding flowers, the HR portal request, draft, change beneficiary, from Employee C to External Party B, relationship, sister. Here we see the employee using a company card to purchase tools to obfuscate their activities. We also see a draft request to change a life insurance beneficiary from one Northgate employee to another, while deliberately falsifying the relationship to avoid the 401B disclosure flag we just discussed. This is not just a conflict of interest. It is active, multi-layered fraud. The room is dead silent. Even the beep of my monitor sounds loud. Before we proceed, I say, turning my chair slightly, I'd like our General Counsel, Anya Sharma, to briefly remind us of the company's official position on such violations. Anya stands up. She is a sharp, imposing figure in a dark gray suit. She doesn't need a microphone. Her voice cuts through the room. Thank you. Sloan, I want to be unequivocally clear. This scenario constitutes, at minimum, 3 Level 4 violations, per the Northgate Code of Conduct. Section 8. This includes termination for cause, meaning all unvested stock, options, and accrued PTO are forfeited. Furthermore, per Section 11, Northgate reserves the right to claw back any salary, bonuses, or benefits paid to the employee during the period of the fraudulent activity. We also reserve the right to refer the matter to the Fairwick County District Attorney for criminal prosecution. As Anya is speaking, the main auditorium door at the back of the room swings open. The bright light of the hallway silhouettes a figure. It's Evan. He is breathless, his face flushed. He's holding the blue vinyl folder from the clerk's office. He sees his team in the front, sees the empty seat, and starts to hurry down the aisle, trying to be quiet. He doesn't look at the stage. He's looking at his phone, probably at the HR portal, wondering why his session just timed out. He slides into his seat next to Jim. Jim just stares at him. Evan finally looks up. He looks at me, in the wheelchair. He looks at Anya, standing like an executioner, and he looks at the giant screen behind me, which is still displaying the beneficiary change request where he labeled Cassidy, sister. I watch the color drain from his face. I watch his eyes go from confused to shocked to horrified. He understands. He is employee A. He springs to his feet. His chair clatters backward. He sputters. The entire room turns to look at him. I have to take a call. I'm sorry. I have to step out. He turns to flee back up the aisle. Please, Mr. Pike, sit down. My voice is not loud. It is not angry. It is a simple, cold command, and it is amplified by a 10,000-watt sound system. The words hit him like a physical blow. He freezes. Every employee in the room has now connected the name to the anonymous case study. He turns back to me, his face a mask of pale terror. There's just one more slide, I say, my voice softening, almost kind. I think you'll want to see the conclusion. I lift my phone. I look him directly in the eyes, and I tap the screen. The slide changes. The beneficiary request is gone. The new slide is a simple, clean screenshot of the Fairwick County Clerk's public calendar for today, October 26th. A single entry is circled in red. Appointment, 10:02 a.m. Verification, file, 88941B, Pike, E. Whitaker, C. Status, pending. I let the image hang in the air. I let everyone in the room do the math. 10:02 a.m., this meeting, his empty chair, his late arrival. I lean forward into the microphone. I let the silence stretch until it is painful. The only thing I hate more than a lie, I say, my voice just above a whisper, is a badly formatted record. The silence in the auditorium is a physical weight. It is thick, heavy, and absolute. No one moves. No one coughs. Evan stands frozen in the aisle, a statue of pale horror, his eyes locked on the slide that details his 10:02 a.m. appointment with my sister. The blue folder in his hand, the one he just received from the clerk, seems to vibrate with guilt. The only sound in the vast, warm room is the steady, quiet beep, beep, beep. From the heart monitor on my chair, it is a clinical, detached measure of the life I am carrying, a counterpoint to the life I am systematically dismantling. Mark Harrison, the CEO, is the first to move. He leans from his front row seat, his voice a low, dangerous rumble that is nonetheless picked up by the lectern mic. "Sloan," he says, not looking at me, but at Evan. Is Case C? Is this a live issue? I turn my wheelchair slightly to face him. Yes, Mark, it is. Evan flinches, as if struck. And as per Section 9 of our internal investigations policy, I continue, my voice calm. When a case is active and requires immediate intervention to prevent further damage to company assets or data, I am required to ask the employee and our legal counsel to step into a private room for an immediate consultation. I turn my gaze back to Evan. He is a specimen, an anomaly I am here to correct. I will not use his name. A name is for a person. He is a number. Anya Sharma, I say, nodding to our general counsel. An employee ID 4490. Please follow our head of HR, Jim Keller, to the adjacent conference room. Jim, who had been sitting next to Evan's empty chair, stands up. His face is pale. He looks at Evan, his expression a mixture of pity and professional duty. Evan, let's go. Evan doesn't move. He's shaking his head, his mouth opening and closing, but no sound coming out. He is an animal in a cage, looking for an escape he knows doesn't exist. He's trapped between 200 witnesses and the unblinking red light of the camera. And just as he is about to speak, to beg, to confess, the main doors at the back of the auditorium swing open. A rectangle of harsh utilitarian light cuts into the dim room. A figure is silhouetted against it. It's Cassidy. She is a splash of inappropriate celebration. She's wearing a white sundress, the one I bought her for a family barbecue last summer. Her hair is down. She is smiling, flushed with victory, and she hasn't yet registered the suffocating silence of the room. She spots me on the stage, a beacon under the spotlight. She doesn't see Evan. Sloan, she calls out, her voice a triumphant, piercing shout that echoes through the silent hall. I'm here. I made it. It's done. She takes 2 steps into the room. Jim Keller, the HR director, is still holding the door open for Evan to leave, but Cassidy is entering. They create a bottleneck, a moment of perfect, disastrous timing. The entire audience, 200 employees, managers, and executives, turns in their seats, a collective, rustling gasp. They look at Cassidy. They see the woman in the white dress, the one I'd told them was external party B. They see her wrist. Flashing under the recessed lighting as she waves is my mother's silver locket bracelet, and they see what's in her other hand. She is holding it aloft like a diploma, the blue vinyl folder, the one that says Fairwick County Clerk on its cover. Then, she sees him. Her eyes follow the gaze of the audience. Down the aisle, to the 3rd row, she sees Evan, standing, pale, trapped. Her smile doesn't fade. It freezes. It cracks. Evan sees her. His face crumples. The lie has just walked into the room. The entire sordid diagram, employee A, employee C, external party B, the forged documents, the stolen locket, the fraudulent license, is now assembled live, on stage, for our entire company. I lift my hand, not to wave, not to point. I signal. To my left, by the fire exit, the 2 corporate security guards I'd requested for audio-visual support straighten their ties. I give them a short, sharp nod. Gentlemen, I say, my voice cutting through the tension. Please stand by the main doors. Standard procedure when we have an unresolved access issue. The 2 men, both large, both wearing the crisp Northgate security blazers, move with silent purpose. One stands next to Jim Keller. The other stands next to a frozen Cassidy. This is no longer a presentation. It is a quarantine. The sight of the guards breaks Evan's paralysis. This is a mistake. His voice is a desperate, cracking yell. He points, his hand shaking, at the giant screen. That's just a draft. It's not real. It's a misunderstanding. Sloan, tell them. It's a misunderstanding. I look at him. My voice is cold. A misunderstanding. Evan, let's clarify. I tap my phone. The giant screen behind me changes. The clerk's calendar vanishes. The new slide is a stark, black and white screenshot of my look-back scripts log. Event, remote login, device, iPhone 14 Pro, Pike, E, IP address, 72.201.44.199, Comcast cable. Host name, C722014419, D1.va, Comcast, net. Registered to, Whitaker. Cassidy, A. Location, 412B Sycamore Street. Apt, 3, timestamp, 2:19 p.m., Tuesday, Okat 23. This is the IP log from your phone. Evan, I say, my voice a clinical lecture. From Tuesday afternoon, the one you used to access our shared cloud account. 10 minutes after you lied and told me you were at the gym, you were at my sister's apartment, using her Wi-Fi. Planning this. It is not a misunderstanding. It is a data point. At the back of the room, Cassidy lets out a small, strangled sound. She understands what she's seeing. And the draft? I continue. I reach down into the reinforced pocket on the side of my wheelchair. I pull out a single, stapled document, the physical printout of the beneficiary change request, the one he was trying to file from the courthouse parking lot. I don't hand it to him. I hold it out to Anya. Anya Sharma walks the few steps from the front row. She takes the paper from my hand. She reads it. She looks at the screen. She looks at Evan. She turns to the CEO. Her face is a mask of cold, legal finality. Mark, she says, her voice absolute. This is conclusive. We have time card theft, benefits fraud, and a flagrant, premeditated violation of Policy 4B. The documentation is definitive. I recommend immediate suspension of all system and building access for employee 4490, pending termination. No, Evan shouts. No, you can't. Sloan, please, don't do this. I love you. It wasn't. She meant nothing. Cassidy, at the back of the room, flinches as if he'd slapped her. The blue folder drops from her hand, hitting the carpet with a soft, pathetic thud. I ignore them both. I look at Mark Harrison. The CEO stands up. He adjusts his suit jacket. He looks at me, in my chair, tethered to a heart monitor. His face is granite. Sloan, as Director of Controls, you have my full authorization. Execute the policy. This is the moment. Anya steps onto the stage ramp, holding her corporate tablet. She turns the screen to me. On it is the digital suspension order, pre-filled. Suspend. Pike. Evan J. EMP 4490. Action. Immediate revocation of all system and building privileges. Authorizer. M. Harrison. CEO. Executor. A single, blank line waits. Anya hands me the stylus. I take it. The plastic is cool in my hand. The camera at the back of the room is recording. The entire company is watching. Evan is watching. His breath held. Cassidy is watching. Her face white with shock. I don't look at them. I look at the line on the screen. I press the stylus to the glass. A single, deliberate, downward stroke. A curve. A cross. I sign my name. Sloan A. Whitaker. I hand the stylus back to Anya. She taps submit on her screen. His access is revoked, she says. To me, to Jim, and to the room. The security guard next to Evan gently, firmly, places a hand on his arm. Sir, you need to come with us. The silence that follows is absolute. It is a vacuum. The only sound in the entire vast auditorium is the long, cold, artificial hiss of the building's ventilation system, and the steady, quiet beep, beep, beep of my heart, marking time. The execution of the suspension order is a silent, hydraulic action. The auditorium deflates. The tension does not break. It simply evaporates, leaving a cold, sterile void. Evan, employee 4490, is a ghost. He is physically present but professionally erased. The security guard, a man named Flores, who normally checks badges with a bored nod, is all procedure. He doesn't touch Evan. He doesn't have to. He just gestures to the exit. Sir, this way. Evan is limp. The fight has drained out of him, leaving a hollow, gray shell. He doesn't look at me. He doesn't look at Anya. He just shuffles. The blue folder, his useless, voided trophy, still dangling from his hand. At the back of the room, Cassidy is gone. The moment the guards moved, she fled. The door she had burst through, expecting triumph, became her escape route. She left the blue folder she had dropped on the floor. A second guard picks it up with 2 fingers, as if it's contaminated, and places it on an empty chair. The EMT reappears from the wings. The audience is frozen, a sea of pale, stunned faces. The CEO, Mark Harrison, steps back onto the stage ramp. He looks at me, his face a complex mask of shock and profound, cold respect. He nods. Once, he understands. This was not a presentation. This was a pest control. He turns to the audience. This concludes our Q3 town hall. The EMT unlocks my wheels. Anya walks beside me as we move down the ramp. The employees part, creating a silent, wide aisle. No one speaks. No one meets my eye. They just stare at the floor as I pass. They have just witnessed a public execution, and they are terrified of the executioner. I am not. I am simply a director of controls, and I am on a schedule. My car is waiting, Anya says, her voice low as we enter the private elevator. You're going to the courthouse. We are, I correct her. I tap the manila envelope in my lap. I have the packets. The ride to the Fairwick County Courthouse is silent. The EMT drives. I recline in the passenger seat, my portable monitor beeping its steady rhythm. Anya sits in the back, reading my affidavit and the petition to invalidate. This is ironclad, she says, tapping the plastic sleeve containing the supplementary credit card statement. The payment source is the killing blow. He didn't just lie. He paid for the lie with your money. He paid for it with the company's money, I say. He just used my name to do it. At the courthouse, the EMT helps me into the manual wheelchair we brought. Anya and I do not wait in the line. We go straight to the administrative window. Anya shows her bar card. We are ushered into a back office in under 60 seconds. The man behind the desk is J.D. Alvarez, the clerk. His name is on the license. He looks annoyed, then deeply alarmed, when he sees Anya's Northgate General Counsel business card. Mr. Alvarez, Anya says, her voice dropping into a register I recognize, the one she uses for depositions. We are here regarding marriage license 88941B, which you certified at approximately 10:07 a.m. this morning. Alvarez's face goes pale. He remembers. We have 2 documents for your immediate review. Anya continues. She places packet 1 on his desk. This is a sworn affidavit from Ms. Sloan Whitaker, the primary and sole leaseholder for 1 Riverbend Tower, Apt 3012. It attests that Mr. Evan Pike is a permitted occupant, not a resident, and that his claim of residence at 412B Sycamore Street was a material falsehood. That is perjury. Alvarez swallows. He looks at me. I just stare, my face blank. I push packet 2 across the desk. It contains the credit card statements. And this is the payment record. The $7,500 fee was paid with this card. I slide my supplementary card, with Evan's name on it, across the desk. It's a corporate T&E card, tied to my account. His payment for the license was, itself, an act of fraud. Alvarez looks at the name on the card, Evan J. Pike, then at the embossed name below it, Sloan, a Whitaker. He looks at my driver's license, which I've placed next to it. He understands. He understands how badly he failed. He understands the legal jeopardy he is in for his lazy check. And finally, Anya says, placing the 3rd packet on the desk with a soft thud, this is a formal petition from our firm to invalidate license 88941B, effective immediately, on the grounds of procurement by fraud and perjury. Mr. Alvarez doesn't say a word. He doesn't argue. He doesn't apologize. He simply stands, goes to a file cabinet, and pulls the original, hard copy license application. the blue folder. He brings it back to his desk. He opens it. He looks at their signatures. He looks at his own. Then he opens a drawer and takes out a different kind of stamp. It's not the seal of validation. It is a heavy rectangular block of wood and red rubber. He presses it onto an ink pad. Red. He aligns the stamp carefully over the center of the license, over their names, over his own certification. He presses down with his full body weight. Thud. He lifts the stamp, in bright, bleeding, crimson ink. One word is now emblazoned across the document. Void. He does it again on our petition. Thud. He signs the bottom, dates it, and hands us our copy. It's done, he whispers. As of this moment, 11:34 a.m., the license is legally invalid. It never existed. The ride back to my apartment is quiet. The EMT wheels me back into my bedroom. I am back on the bed, back under the covers. The portable monitor is swapped for the stationary one. Beep, beep, beep. I am horizontal again. I open my laptop. The machine is waiting. 2 new emails are in my inbox. The first is from Ken, the AV tech. Subject, Q3. Town Hall. Recording Sloan, per your instructions. The full recording of the town hall is now archived on the corporate server. I have tagged it for the mandatory compliance training library under the title Case Study C, 10-2625, Live Resolution. It's a powerful file. I reply, thank you, Ken. The second email is from Jim Keller, the HR director. Subject, FID. Notice of immediate termination, Sloan, FYI, following the 11C form you filed and the review by General Counsel. Mr. Pike's employment has been terminated. For cause. Effective 10:26 a.m. Today, this notice has been sent to his personal email. He has been informed he is banned from all Northgate properties. His final paycheck will be adjusted for time card fraud. Per Anya's instruction, the corporate threads are closed, signed, stamped, filed. Now the personal. I know Cassidy. I built her. I know that after she fled the auditorium, she did not go home. She came here. She came to my apartment, to the door I had locked. She would have hammered her fist against the wood. She would have punched in the code, 0816, our old code, the code from our first, desperate apartment after our father left. And she would have been met with the cold, red flash of the denied keypad, access denied. She would have tried again, denied. The locksmith at 7 a.m. this morning had earned his emergency fee. The door is a wall of steel. She has no key. She has no code. She has no access. I pick up my phone. I call a courier service. I go to my jewelry box. I pull out my mother's silver locket bracelet, the one Cassidy wore to the courthouse, the one she left at the Northgate Auditorium in her panic. The guard gave it to me on my way out. I drop it into a small, padded envelope. It feels like dropping a stone. I go to my desk. I open the file cabinet labeled Personal. I find the folder. Cassidy. Debt Reconciliation. I pull out the final, paid-in-full statement for the $14,000 credit card debt I had saved her from. The plan she had called Control. I put that, too, in the envelope. I seal it. I write Cassidy on the front. I give it to the courier. Take this to 412B Sycamore Street. Leave it at the door. An hour later, the courier texts me. Delivered. I open my phone. I find her contact. I send one final message. It is not a question. It is not an accusation. It is a link, a public URL to the Northgate Code of Conduct, Section 4B. Disclosure of personal relationships. Below the link, I type 6 words. Truth arrives on paper. I block her number. My next call is to my lawyer, the one I retained with the $20,000 from the Briar Courthouse deposit. Mr. Cale, Sloan Whitaker. Ms. Whitaker, I was expecting your call. Are we proceeding with the divorce filing? No, I say. There is no marriage to dissolve. The license was invalidated an hour ago, for fraud. A low whistle on the other end. Well, that is efficient. What of my retainer? Keep your fee for the invalidation paperwork, I say. I have new instructions for the remaining balance. I want you to wire it to the Fairwick State University Endowment Fund. A donation? A scholarship, I say. To be named the Alara Whitaker Memorial Fund. For women pursuing a master's degree in public audit. I hang up. The house in Briarcourt is gone. The money is gone. It has been repurposed. It is now a foundation. My last task, I open the secure shell on my laptop. I open the Python script I wrote last year. Watchdog, Pi. I look at the target list. Target names: Sloan Whitaker, Evan Pike, Cassidy Whitaker. Whitaker. My fingers move to the keyboard. I highlight Evan Pike. I press delete. I highlight Cassidy Whitaker. I press delete. The line now reads, target names equals Sloan Whitaker. I hit save. I close the terminal. I don't need to watch them anymore. They are no longer my data. I close my laptop. I place my hands on my stomach. The room is silent, save for the steady, reassuring beep of the monitor. For the first time in a decade, my records are clean. I hand the stylus back to Anya. The submission is instantaneous. The command is executed. In the digital architecture of Northgate Therapeutics, Evan Pike has ceased to exist. His credentials are void. His access is revoked. His data key, which once opened every door, is now just a string of useless, nullified code. He is still standing in the aisle, but he is now a ghost. The auditorium is a vacuum. The 200 employees are holding their breath. The security guards, Flores and DeMarco, have tensed, their hands unclasped, but they have not moved. They are waiting for the verbal cue. Evan is still frozen, his brain trying to process the speed of his own erasure. Mark Harrison, the CEO, stands up fully. He buttons his suit jacket. He does not look at Evan. He looks at me, and his face is a complex mask of profound shock and a cold, deep respect. He has just seen the company's immune system, which he thought was a series of abstract policies, manifest as a single, decisive, human action. "Sloan," he says, his voice a low, respectful rumble that the microphone picks up. "Is there anything else you need to say? To the company?" Jim Keller, the HR director, who has been standing by the door, walks quickly down the aisle. He doesn't look at Evan. He walks to the stage and places a single pre-printed sheet of paper on the lectern in front of me. It is the physical suspension order, the hard copy, the artifact. I pick it up. The paper is still warm from the printer. It is the real, tangible, final record of the event. I hold it in my hand. I look out at the audience, at the blurred sea of faces. I look at the unblinking red eye of the camera. I am not speaking to them. I am closing the file. Paper kept me safe, I say. My voice is quiet, but it fills the entire room. It keeps this company safe. That is all. I give the slightest of nods to Flores, the signal. Now, the physical removal begins. "Sir," Flores says, his voice polite but firm. He is no longer addressing a colleague. He is addressing a security risk. "You need to come with us, please." Evan does not, or cannot, move. Flores and DeMarco step in. They do not grab him. They simply flank him, a human wall, and begin to move, forcing him to turn and walk up the aisle. He is a hollowed-out man, a shell. His new suit, the one I paid for, looks cheap and oversized. The blue folder, the marriage license he committed perjury to obtain, is still clutched in his left hand, a useless, pathetic prop. He is being escorted toward the main doors, toward Cassidy. She is still standing there, a statue of white-faced shock, framed by the harsh hallway light. Evan is walked directly toward her. He sees her. His face, which was blank with shock, twists for a moment into something ugly. Resentment. He doesn't stop. He doesn't look at her. He walks right past her. Propelled by the two guards, he walks past her as if she is a stranger, as if she is nothing. I watch her face. I watch her register this final, brutal data point. He did not do this for her. He only did this using her. She was not his partner. She was his co-conspirator, his alibi, his disposable tool. He disappears from view. Cassidy is left alone in the doorway. She looks across the vast, silent room, her eyes finding me on the stage. She is looking for an answer, an explanation, for mercy. I meet her gaze. I hold it. I do not blink. My face is a clean, flat, empty file. I am the director of controls. She is an external variable that has been neutralized. She understands. There is nothing left for her here. There is no appeal. After a long 5-second beat, she is the one who breaks contact. She turns, her shoulders slumped, and disappears into the bright, indifferent light of the hallway. At the back of the room, the small red eye on the compliance camera clicks off. The recording is finished. Simultaneously, the harsh, focused stage lights that were isolating me dim, softening into the general, warm overhead lighting of the room. The interrogation is over. I look down at my lap. My black, hardbound notebook is there, the one I took from my bedside table. I open it to the first page of this incident. The page from Tuesday, my own, neat, clinical handwriting. Incident. Data integrity failure. Subjects: Pike, E.J., Whitaker, C.A., and at the bottom, the 3 words, twice underlined, that I had pressed into the paper in public. I take my pen from the lectern, the same fine-point gel pen. I take the cold, hard edge of my phone and place it against the paper. Like a ruler, I draw one, single, hard, black, perfectly straight line through the words, in public. It is a redaction. It is a closing entry. The case is closed. I listen. The room is silent. It is not the stunned, heavy silence of before. It is an empty silence, a clean silence, the sound of a system that has found an error, purged it, and returned to a state of equilibrium. People are beginning to gather their things, but quietly, as if leaving a gravesite. There is no applause. There are no congratulations. There are no whispers. There is only the clean, sterile, satisfying hum of the building's ventilation system, breathing a sigh of relief. I look at the EMT, who is waiting in the wings, ready to push my chair. I give him a small shake of my head. Not yet. I reach down to the arm of the chair. I unclip the pulse oximeter from my finger. I detach the 2 heart monitor leads from the sticky pads beneath my jacket. The steady beep, 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 which had been the soundtrack to my life for weeks, now gives way to a single, shrill, flatline tone. I press the power button on the monitor. Silence. I place my hands on the padded armrests of the wheelchair. I push, my legs, weak and unsteady from weeks of mandated stillness, tremble. But they do not buckle. I rise from the chair. I am standing. I am unsupported. I am on my own 2 feet. I feel the stiff, medical-grade pregnancy brace under my clothes. A solid, rigid support. I take a deep, full breath. The first one I have taken in what feels like a lifetime. It is calm. I look out at the auditorium, the massive projector screen behind me, which had displayed Evan's IP address, his time card, his fraudulent beneficiary form, and his appointment at the clerk's office, is now black. The stage lights are off. The room is just a room. The file is closed. Thank you so much for listening to my story. I'm curious. Where in the world are you listening from? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to connect and hear your thoughts on Sloane's journey. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the channel, like the video, and support us by hitting that hype button so this story can be heard by more people. Thank you.